low rate, just 10 cents a minute.
The weather can affect you. This winter, rely on the experts. Nobody knows weather like we do. Right now, it's your local forecast on the Weather Channel.
Welcome to Weather Center here on the Weather Channel. I'm Bob Stokes. There's a potentially hazardous driving situation developing tonight in the Northeast. Freezing rain, a good possibility for some locales in upstate New York getting into New England. We'll talk about that in just a moment. But first, our first focus, the west, where the onshore flow continues to be strong into the Pacific Northwest. Boy, you needed your umbrellas in Seattle as we headed into Monday night. Yes, you did. This was the scene earlier in the Emerald City, raw and rainy in Seattle. Many of you were armed with your umbrellas, but with the southerly wind gusting 25 to 30 miles per hour, it was hard to hang on to them. Keep the rain gear handy. You'll endure more. The sun did make an appearance during the afternoon. Throw an extra blanket on the bed. It's going to be a chilly night. But you know, the upper air disturbance which brought the snows to Salt Lake City, that one has moved well to the east, and that's scooting into the plains now, and the snows are long over in Salt Lake City. That same disturbance brought heavy snows to the western mountains of Colorado. But in Seattle, the pictures you saw earlier, you could take that video camera out tonight and still see pretty much the same scene because of a very strong onshore flow. We still have the gale warnings in effect. We've seen wind gusts 40 to 50 miles per hour easily along the coastline, and that moisture supply will continue to keep I-5 wet as we go into tomorrow morning. Right now, there's a look at the isobars representing the strong onshore flow and the wet weather getting into Quileute, where the rain has been quite heavy, getting into Seattle tonight. Now, this high pressure system has kept you fair in California, just about the entire state, although it did kick in a bit of a Santa Ana wind. And we're looking right now at wet weather in Seattle, around the Space Needle, around the Public Market, getting down into Olympia. And the snows, well, they're going to be falling pretty heavily in the Cascades tonight. We could see 10, 11 inches and at about 3,000 feet in the southern Cascades. And just got to be careful driving in Portland and Seattle because this rain is expected to stick around right through the morning drive. Gale warnings, yes, you see them covering much of the Washington and Oregon coast. This is taking you through Tuesday morning. Presently, temperatures in the inland areas, 41 in the Dalles, 41 Yakima, 37 in Redmond. In Seattle, it's 40, Portland 47. Going down to Northern California, 37 in Sacramento, 42 in Stockton, and expect, we have dense fog advisories, by the way, in much of the San Joaquin and getting into the Sacramento valleys with that high in charge. Nothing to mix up the air. 42 in Monterey. As we head toward the Southland, 49 in Ontario, 41 in Edwards, and Long Beach, 54 degrees. How about your earthquake reports? We've got a few of them to check out in Southern California. We'll start off with a magnitude 2.1, 3 miles southwest of Ocotillo, and also one 2.0 near Anza. As we check out the northern part of the state of California, 2.7. 6 miles west-southwest of Markleeville. No earthquakes as we head toward the Pacific Northwest nor Alaska. Now, as we take you from the west, where we talked about the rain and the snows and the winds, we go toward the fog in the Midwest and then warm air overrunning cold air at the surface. It's this high that ushered in that cold air at the surface in upstate New York. Right now, we're seeing some possibilities of freezing rain as we head toward the Mohawk Valley as temperatures fall, which are critical, but this is going to become more widespread overnight in the Capital District. Getting into Hartford, New Haven, you could see some light freezing rain. Now, it's 28 in Albany, so with that moisture coming in, no doubt there's some areas that are experiencing some freezing rain, that moisture contacting the surface, which is below freezing, and so it could be a dangerous drive to work for many of you. As a matter of fact, as we take you through the commute hours, it looks like freezing rain in the Mohawk Valley, getting perhaps into the eastern Finger Lakes region around Oneida, Auburn, New York, Syracuse, and temperatures are going to be cold enough in many locales as we take you through the overnight hours. There's a look at our tomorrow morning. There's the freezing rain. Otherwise, heavy rain developing in New York City tomorrow. It's scooting into the metropolitan area now, the tri-state area. And look at these isobars, how tightly packed they are in the northwest, representing a very strong onshore flow that might relax just a little bit by midday, but still wet. You might catch a little bit of a break as we head toward the afternoon, but look at that freezing rain headed toward the northeast by midday, and then farther into New England as we head toward the afternoon. There's a look at the heavy rain along the eastern seaboard and your highs.
Weather can affect every